Really? Again with these guys? Hi, everybody. This is Mike Halford from Sportsnet 650. This is a content warning. The following may be damaging to your ears.
The Canucks practice again today, so they might come out with new forward lines and new defensive pairings before they fly to Edmonton to play the Oilers tomorrow. But I did kind of take note of that. I was like, oh, Rathbone's practicing.
I noticed that as well. It kind of jumped out.
And so I don't know if that was a shot across Rathbone's bow.
The Rath bow. They call it the Rath bow.
Okay. All right. You see, do you notice how you would like always get me off track? Like with your comments, like they're not as bad as Dom's drops.
J-Bone.
I feel it today, guys. I don't know what it is, but there's a real chemistry in the room.
Well, that was actually a good drop because Dom didn't come up with it. Is only as good as the person you ask.
Maybe the Canucks could have got it done if they'd come really hot, really fast.
They just keep coming. Don't clip that.
Please clip that.
Maybe the Canucks could have got it done if they'd come really hot, really fast.
They just keep coming.
7:49 on a Wednesday. Wacky Wednesday here.
They just keep coming.
7:49 on a Wednesday. Wacky Wednesday here. All our morning show hijinks.
Are we just not allowed to say coming anymore on the radio without laughing?
Did it again!
Because I hate to say it, it's a fairly common word in the English language.
It's true. It's going to get to the point where any word, hard, stick, they're all just going to be clipped. Played out of context.
You ever said the word like golfing or playing hockey? If you say the word shaft, it's just people lose it.
I still laugh when they say soft dump into the corner.
I mean, that's pretty funny.
That is funny. You're listening to the Halford and Brough show, unfortunately, on Sportsnet 650. But it almost lubricates the meat.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That felt more intentional.
That was very intentional, the whole thing.
Yeah. But it did lubricate the meat. You're listening to the Halford and Brough show on Sportsnet 650. Your home of the Canucks.
650. Get your centers, and then your wingers can come sometimes like in unexpected fashions, right? I always think about... Okay. Saw Bobby Orr play.
Right.
And I'm sure he'd be in
Which is weird because you're like 67 years old.
I'm not that old. Speaking of old, though, what we learned, this is an unsigned text, probably because they don't want to admit to this. I had a dream last night with Donnie, Dolly, and Moj at the beach. Donnie was crying in a bush. Quite bizarre. What was he crying about? The fact that he was at the beach with Moj and Dolly?
That'd be at the top of the list. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
I feel like we should move on before we say something bad. And I think that as we grow over time, someone at a certain point will realize how dumb that rule is. The distinct kicking motion means you swing your leg in a pendulum and it's in step only. Like outside of the foot. Like, as a flick on, as Jason would
But
say.
as Wish said, like, the NHL doesn't want to take away goals.
They get rid of the rule.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's another. Some people seem to think that if you get rid of the kicking rule, the guys are going to be swinging their foot 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And they're going to slice each other in the skull.
Crosses it into the slot.
Yeah, like no one's going to do that.
NHL's going to turn to blood sport.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Like,
Connor McDavid with the bicycle kick.
I think everyone is cognizant of the fact that they have knives
was
on
dangerous.
they have knives on their feet. They're not going to start swinging them
and
around.
also, it's easier to try and hit it with your stick.
Right.
Yeah. It's not your first reaction. Just like kick it in.
The skates have other things that they're doing, like keeping the guy balanced. They're busy at the moment. I don't get it.
I'm going to read one more what we learned.
I don't get it.
Mario in Richmond.
Yep.
What we learned, quote, if you want to qualify, you have to win games. And then Mario concludes, see, that's the type of insight that keeps us tuning in day after day. I had a point, though.
You won't get better soccer analysis than that.
In Canada, we are so focused in not losing.
That's right.
That occasionally ties are considered these great. Like when the Canada tied Mexico, I'm not saying we shouldn't have celebrated that.
Yeah.
But we celebrate, it was amazing, but they're going to need to do more. They've only won one game out of 5.
Wins equal success.
See, for a tie, you only get 1 point. For a win, you get 3. So if you think about it, a win is worth 3 ties.
That's why they listen. It's the Halford and Brough Show on Sportsnet 650.
Last night, I don't think I achieved full sports happiness watching Canada play Panama because they were expected to win, but it was definitely nearly there, especially with that Davies goal. Mm-hmm. I cannot imagine how I might feel if Canada actually does this. You have to be very careful about coming.
Is that what happened when he was watching Alfonso yesterday?
You do have to be very careful, especially if you're watching it with your buddies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
just need a little privacy.
Thanks for that, Dom. I was trying to get everyone excited for this potential game.
I'm excited
at BC
now.
Place. If that game doesn't sell out, I will be very disappointed in people. Does this mean we have to sit through another team's 20-minute opening night ceremony?
Well, that's kind of why I brought it up.
Can we tell teams, or can we send a memo to these teams that we don't need to know who the head trainer is? We don't need to know who the head data guy is. We don't need to know every single goalie coach on the staff. We don't need to introduce every person in the organization. Yeah. I don't even like them introducing every player on the team and having them skate. What is this, the All-Star game?
Yeah, I don't think they need to do that. And people
get to it, or do something more interesting than and here's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and here's just we know who's on the team.
That's true. I can look it up on NHL.com. I think people were actually somehow applauding the Maple Leafs yesterday for only having a 20-minute pregame ceremony. Only 20 minutes. And people were like, this is nice and tight and buttoned up. But the Leafs did the same thing. It was assistant to the traveling trainer.
It was so boring. It was so boring.
You need to have
play one episode of Amazon Prime.
Pardon me?
Did they just play the first episode of their Amazon?
It would have been more
shows?
entertaining, to be honest.
And you know how you can tell is that the Leafs fans and the Oilers fans were super bored.
Yeah, did not care. Right?
You compare what they did in Toronto yesterday for the opening ceremony and Edmonton. Now compare to what Vegas did.
Yeah. Vegas put everybody to shame. Vegas is setting too high of a bar.
I don't think NHL teams should sit there and go, well, that's Vegas. They know how to do things down in Vegas. You can hire people to do that.
That's right.
It's not only in Vegas.
We cannot possibly do this anywhere else. It's a big sheet of ice.
Do you remember?
It's a big movie screen. You can do tons of cool stuff.
Do you remember back in 2011 when we traveled down to San Jose and we were blown out of the water by what they did in their pregame, especially with the on-ice graphics that they did. Mm-hmm.
They made the ice pulsing.
Yes, I felt like I was on mushrooms watching the ice pulsing with the music.
We were in San Francisco.
We were actually. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great hockey game. There was not even a light show apparently. Afterwards, they told us.
They asked us to leave.
Yeah. They're like, sir, the ice is not pulsating. No one is talking to you either. Please leave.
I hid under my chair for the second period.
You know what else they did in San Jose? They had Metallica play the national anthem one time, which was pretty cool. I guess all the guys from Metallica are big Sharks fans. Anyhow.
Troy the bread guy.
We're off topic again.
No, not really.
Okay.
Only the Montreal Canadiens should have any ceremonies. Yeah, but even theirs drag on a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's a little much. Okay?
But
I know you have a lot of really historic alumni and everything, but let's speed it up. That's all it is. We just want to get to the games quicker. Is that so wrong? I wonder what the Kraken are going to do, because that's another one that the Canucks are going to have to deal with. And you'd imagine there's going to be a fair amount of pomp and or circumstance around Seattle's first ever game at Climate Pledge Arena.
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Yeah, I like some of these texts. Okay, you guys have really crossed into old man territory. It's the home opener.
I felt that. Yeah.
I see no problem introducing the team in the first game of the season. Shouldn't take 20 minutes, though. That's my whole point. Or just do something just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just a little bit different. Another text. Speak for yourself, Jason. I, for one, was really looking forward to who their head masseuse was.
Now, is that the head masseuse, or is that the guy in charge of masseusing heads?
Yeah, the head massager.
Yeah, you never know.
He's got a headache.
They could have both.
Well, it's the Leafs. They spend a lot of money.
I've had a sinus problem for 2 weeks. I'd love a head masseuse.
You know, according to that texter who said I should do more research, I should probably know who the head masseuse is.
Both head masseuses. Mm-hmm. You can do that at the break. We should take a break. Lots more to come on the Halford and Brough Show. Before we do anything, I want to say drive safely today, please. There is an incredible amount of standing water on our streets. They're calling it an atmospheric river, Jason. An atmospheric river.
Were you hydroplaning on the way to work?
A little bit.
Intentionally?
Yeah, even though there was nobody on the streets. Mm-hmm. Nobody to soak. Still did it.
Do you ever, if you see a big puddle and there's no one around it? Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever just like go for it?
I have.
Yeah. It's kind of fun, isn't it?
I regret it somewhat.
Why? It's fun.
In case you douse somebody accidentally.
Yeah, but that's why I said, do you look, you obviously look first to make sure that no one's walking beside it. And then you're like, I'm a little kid and I'm going to go and splash through this puddle.
Sometimes I've looked, sometimes I haven't. I've done it accidentally before.
You've doused someone?
I've done an accidental dousing.
Yeah.
It's not good.
And remember, advice is only as good as the person you ask.
$6.54 on a Friday. Halford, Brough, Sportsnet 650.
Did it just get sexy in here?
It sure did. So sexy. New FIFA rankings are out. Take that, Greece. Canada, I believe, is neck and neck with them in the standings, if not surpassing them.
Are we on the first page yet?
We're at 48.
Yeah, first page, top 50.
I think we are sandwiched between Greece and Saudi Arabia. A delicious sandwich. I want to address this. Ian in Coquitlam says, get it together. Come on, you guys. Ray Bork. Did I not say that?
I thought you said Ray Bork.
I said Bobby Orr, Ray Bork, Zdeno Chara.
I can't confirm.
I did say it?
Yeah.
You get it together,
I
Ian
was
in Coquitlam.
I was thinking about Brad Park.
Sure, you can throw him in the mix. Why not? Ian. What kind of name is that?
That's a pretty common name.
That's true.
This is how I got off. They just keep coming.
You were choking the chicken, as it were.
And yeah, well, yes. And you get in trouble for doing that on TV.
You do. But it did lubricate the meat. Very nice!
Did it just get sexy in here?
It sure did. So sexy.
Are we going to kiss?
Do I have to take my mask off for this? I am going to destroy your mouth.
Just tap him on the butt.
Get your posterior in there.
That's Halford's behind.
Okay.
I've been wearing sweatpants for a week. I'm a little kid.